Energy Spa session. And I'm really excited about what we're doing today because um, I'm sure, as you've all noticed, there is so much polarization and conflict in the world. And one way to change the world is to look at, like, what in us is somehow part of the seeds of that. So, I'm sure a lot of you are going, well, gee, I don't act like that. And that's great. But, if we, and who knows if it's true, but if we step into the idea that the outside world is reflecting things in us, all of us have aspects of ourselves that get involved with conflict, either by just avoiding it or by leaping into it or anything in between, all of which can feed into the same thing. The answer to conflict, in my opinion, is not the people, going completely conflict avoidant. And you may be like that, or you may know people like that, and that's not the answer either. It's sort of like people who don't want to be controlled by money by not having any, so they're controlled by money. So there's what we seek in energetic NLP is to get out of these false dichotomies and these false opposites and go, how can we find a way to have reasonable levels of conflict? I mean, conflict can be incredibly powerful and useful when it's productive conflict and when it's conflict done with respect. And, and I see it all over the world, just speaking as an American. I mean, the level of conflict in our populace and in our politics, I've seen it before, like during the Vietnam War. There were times when it was pretty similar, but it's really, really extreme now. And as I look into other countries, I see the same thing going on, and also in a lot of personal relationships and people on social media who put in all kinds of nasty comments about how people look or their ethnicity or anything else. All the hatred and bigotry. And I believe that we're in a time where it's coming out again so that we can heal it. For a while, I think a lot of it was just kind of buried. Now it's coming out and giving us an opportunity to heal it and go beyond it. So the goal today is to clear what in us feeds into conflict, and how do we energetically and spiritually become centers for more, I'm trying to think of the right word, more collaboration and cooperation in the world. Let me just check one thing real quick. Oop, just as I thought. Switch microphones. Sorry if you were getting some background noise before. This should be a lot better. And let me just move one thing on my screen. And again, this isn't about blame or being anybody's fault. I mean, the worst thing in the world is if there's nothing we can do about all the conflict in the world. Then we're powerless, and we're weak, then we're helpless. Being able to go, what in all of us is contributing to this mass consciousness that's going on, the collective consciousness of humanity, then that's empowering. So again, it's not about blame or what's wrong with us or what's wrong with anybody else. It's getting out of, again, this polarization and dichotomy into a more loving mode, but a loving mode that also has strength and boundaries and can have room for conflict. For decades, I've worked with Fortune 50 companies on creating extraordinary leaders and teams. And teams where there couldn't be any conflict generally weren't good teams. And teams that had extreme conflict weren't good teams. But teams where people could have conflict about ideas and ways to do things and even values, but when they could do it with respect of one another and doing it with a belief that they can come up with some common solution, then the conflict became something that was valuable and productive and the people even liked. So those are some thoughts on the subject. Take a couple easy, deep breaths. And welcome to everybody. And so for those of you that are new to energetic NLP, the first and a very important thing is never listen to any energetic NLP sessions while you're driving. Pretty soon the energies are already starting, but they're going to get really strong soon. And the energies that we're using are designed to get you to go inward, where you can make really deep, generative, significant change. Not how you want to be when you're driving. So I'm not saying you probably wouldn't get away with it, but don't even try. It's just a very bad idea. This is being recorded, so you can watch it, listen to it later. The other thing is Energetic NLP brings together some of the best of NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, with spiritual principles, transformative and healing energy work, remote energy work, clairvoyance, channeling. Brings together all kinds of systems that you might think are opposite or opposing, and brings them together to make something that's much more powerful than any one of those systems alone. And there's a couple of concepts that are unique to Energetic NLP that I need to explain at the beginning, and then we can really hop into the fun part of it. So one is there's a concept in Energetic NLP we call your miraculous self. Your miraculous self. And this is not, if you're new to Energetic NLP, this is not your high self. This is not other concepts you've heard about, unless you talk to somebody who's studied Energetic NLP. Your miraculous self is something that you create and strengthen. Your miraculous self is when your spirit, with its vast awareness, vast perspective, is closely collaborating with your deep inner human wisdom. So your deep inner human wisdom is wise, but it's also very practical, and it's very in touch with your life, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. Your spirit is kind of like up in the ivory tower. It's seeing this big picture of everything. And it sees how a lot of different life paths are legitimate paths for spiritual growth. That doesn't mean they're legitimate paths to enjoy your life, to have satisfaction and love and health and vitality and abundance. And it isn't that your spirit doesn't care about your human life. It cares very much about it. It just sees a lot of different paths as being legitimate spiritual paths, whether you're liking them or not. Your deep inner human wisdom, of course, is much more concerned that your life is joyful, abundant, satisfying, healthy, successful. So when they're really closely collaborating, then you get not guided and nurtured in such a way that your miraculous self leads you into a life that is about personal spiritual development, and it is about having a life that's satisfying, meaningful, and loving. Okay, so take a couple easy deep breaths and relax. And if you're new to the concept of a miraculous self, it's like a lot of concepts. There's layers of I'm blanking on the right word. Like a lot of things, it's something that the basic part of it's simple, but then you take it further and further and further, and it gets stronger and better. But even that first step, the very first step, is life-changing. And the very first step is just deciding that right now, your spirit, your deep inner human wisdom are forming a miraculous self. Just deciding, like, that's what's happening right now. And then the second part is to give permission for that to happen, because intention and permission do not automatically go together. And again, permission's a very deep topic, because it involves permission from your spirit, your soul, your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, and your body. It involves your karmic field and spiritual contracts. And all of that together creates what we call whole being permission. For right now, let's just focus on the conscious permission. And just give conscious permission for your spirit and your deep inner wisdom to right now form your miraculous self. And then the secret sauce, the thing that really makes a difference, is just pretend that it happened. And everything we're doing in the session, pretend that it happened or is happening. Because when you pretend that it's happening, you get out of you're analyzing things to death and trying to do it perfectly and trying to do it right and trying to figure out if it's working. And all of that blocks the energy. The flow of energy is natural. You just have to get out of the way. And the way to get out of the way is turn over control to your miraculous self. And then consciously just relax about it. And then pretend that it's working. And you'll realize later if it worked or not. But for right now, just pretend that it's working, and later on you'll figure out if it worked or not for you. But that, I've been doing this over 36 years. When people pretend that it's working, they take huge leaps in their personal and spiritual development. When they try to do it right or go, is it working, blah, 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 then they take these little tiny baby steps and sometimes only get here when by pretending they can soar like the eagle, as they say, or the dove if you prefer that image. So take a couple easy deep breaths. We also try to keep it light and not take ourselves too seriously when we're doing this, because again, that really unleashes your abilities, the more playful you are. And just a couple of other things and we'll hop into it. One is, if you feel the energy, that's wonderful. If you don't feel it, that's also wonderful. You don't need to feel it for it to work. You just need to give permission and pretend it's working. If you feel it, that's great. And you don't have to be thinking profound thoughts. So if you're thinking profound thoughts, wonderful. If you're thinking mundane or silly thoughts, that's wonderful too. If thoughts are coming up that are in resistance, or part of you is trying to analyze it, or just thoughts that like, oh, this won't work for me, nothing works for me, or any of those things that come up, don't fight them and don't feed them. Just be mindful of them. And in mindfulness, you just notice them and you leave them alone. You just are aware that those thoughts are there. You don't fix them, you don't fight them, you don't anything. You just let them be in the background. And then everything will be fine. The other thing is, as the energy is flowing, you may temporarily feel discomfort. You might feel temporary aches and pains. That happens sometimes because our physical body and our energy body are intertwined. Sometimes when energy gets released, it can temporarily feel uncomfortable. The other thing is emotions may come up. And that's a great thing. And again, if they do, just be mindful of them. Don't go, why am I feeling this way? Or I shouldn't feel this way. Just go, oh, sadness is coming up. Oh, grief is coming up. Oh, irritation's coming up. Impatience coming up. Sometimes the way parts of your old programming will try to block you is by bringing up emotions like impatience. Things like that come up, just kind of go, okay, I'm noticing them, and leave them alone and let them flow. A lot of what will be coming up is other people's emotional energy that was trapped in your body and energy field. And so all you need to do is let go of it. And other parts of the emotion will be old emotions of your own, but it might have been from when you were 5. So just let them flow. You're not going to release anything you shouldn't release. So the goal, the intention of what we're going to do is that each and every one of us heals and clears what in us contributes to conflict in our own relationships, but also in the collective consciousness. And again, not because conflicts are bad, but what contributes to that. It doesn't need to be there. And then your miraculous self will replace that old programming and limiting beliefs and childhood experiences and past life experiences. It'll replace all of that with wisdom, concepts, skills, and abilities from your miraculous self, from your spirit and deep inner human wisdom, which will always be better than the old beliefs and programming. And so the idea at the end is that you have ways of dealing with yourself and with other people, because this also is internal conflicts as part of this. I didn't mention that before. Where you can set boundaries, you can be definite about something, and still do it in a way that's not attacking of the other person, doing it in a way that sets an energy field, that there's the possibility of coming up with a common solution that all of you can agree to, whether it's an internal conflict in your personal relationships or what's going on in the world. As I said, a lot of people believe, and I'm one of them, all the polarization going on in the world, we can think of that is what in us is helping to manifest that. There are sayings like the universe they're confusing two different ones, but the Dalai Lama has a book, The Universe in a Single Atom. People talk about the universe in a grain of sand. And the kingdom of God is within you. The idea that on a certain level, everything is within us. So when we heal things within ourselves, we're contributing to improving it, not just for ourselves, but for everybody. Okay, so those are my opinions, but put your own miraculous self in charge. Give it permission to be in charge. And then my job is to get the energy flowing, and some of the people in this session are advanced practitioners of energetic NLP, and I'm sure they'll be running energy too, because remote energy work is one of our specialties. And the energy will just be guided by your miraculous self. It'll figure out what conscious and unconscious beliefs need to be changed or tweaked or eliminated, and then what to replace them with. It will go through programming, whether it's ancestral, familial, societal, whether it's from past lives or your childhood. It will dissolve old programming that leads to conflict, or leads to conflicts being handled in ways that aren't optimal. And then your miraculous self will immediately replace the programming and beliefs with empowering beliefs and empowering programming around conflict and how to turn conflict into cooperation. Okay, so easy deep breaths. That was most of the talking. Put your miraculous self in charge. Imagine a giant gold ball of energy, and that's our Energetic NLP Energy Spa space for today. And wherever we are in the world, because we're in different parts of the world, we just imagine we're all within this beautiful gold ball of energy. And our miraculous selves are bringing other energies in that will be helpful, including amethyst energies, which are lavenders to dark purples. Those are great energies for dissolving blocks and limitations and for opening up more of our full potential. Just a whole rainbow of energies coming in. And then your miraculous self will decide which energies it wants to use and what they'll do in your energy field and how you'll benefit. Okay, so easy deep breaths and smile. Let go of effort and doing it right and just pretend that it's working. Pretend it's working spectacularly. Just remember, we're working with internal conflicts, conflicts between you and other people, and then the conflicts in the world. With the goal going from conflict that isn't helpful to using conflict to drive collaboration. Easy deep breaths. Easy deep breaths. The energy's working wherever your miraculous self wants it to. It could be in your cells, your DNA, your heart chakra, the layers of your energy field, all the various chakras in your body and around your body, the energy channels in your body. And let's open up love and compassion for the people that are in conflicts, that are promoting conflicts as a way to deal with their own inner pain or their feeling of weaknesses. One of my mentors in NLP, Leslie Cameron Bandler, told us once that when she was young, she was a barmaid in a bar, obviously, and Leslie was very pretty and well built, and you know, somebody that could have gotten been a magnet for conflicts in a bar, you know, and stuff. And she said she didn't even know why she did it at the time, but if there was a man, I say he was a really big man, and he was been drinking and he was starting to get potentially violent with somebody, she would just go up to them and lightly touch them on the arm and go, "You're okay." And they'd go, "What?" And she'd go, "No, really, you're okay." And she goes, they'd always calm down. And so take an easy, deep breath. And I'm not saying that's always the way to deal with those situations, but just somehow she was able to come from a place of understanding and love that they didn't read as weakness. It wasn't weakness at all. But it was speaking to what was going on really inside of them that was causing them to act this way. And then there's a concept in spirituality called the Akashic Records, or people call it the Cosmic Library. And you can take it metaphorically, but representing something that's real. The idea of the Akashic Records or the Cosmic Library is that all human experiences are stored. You can think of it like in a giant library. Not that I think it's in a place like that, but you can think of it that way. All human experience is there, which means all concepts and talents and wisdom and everything else too. Give your miraculous self permission now. Oh, first I should say, very, very bad idea to take anything from the Cosmic Library. That you will set up waves of energy that you don't want. But you can copy anything you want. So you can't take things, but you can copy them. So give your miraculous self permission to go into the Cosmic Library and find concepts, skills, and abilities that will help you to whatever the whole new level for you is in conflict and collaboration would be, or maybe it'll be several levels up, including, again, internal conflicts between you and other people, or between you and groups or societies or religions or any other kind of groups, and skills, concepts, and abilities that will help you be a center of light that helps transform how human beings deal with conflict and how they get into collaboration. So just if you want this, give your miraculous self permission to go through the cosmic library, find these skills, concepts, abilities that will help you with these 3 areas. And as it finds them, give it permission to download it into you, and download it bypassing your conscious mind. So it's just integrated directly into your personality. And you can trust it because your spirit, your deep inner human wisdom have approved it. So you don't need to check it again. So my advice is it's much stronger if you just go, okay, miraculous self, just download into me skills, concepts, abilities, wisdom that will greatly enhance and evolve how I deal with conflict, how I create collaboration within myself, with others, with groups, and how do I help the whole world go to new levels on collaboration. And then just pretend it's being downloaded. And keep giving permission for the download to happen. Going 100% permission, do it now. And then pretend it's happening. Easy deep breaths. Okay, now we're going to bring in energies to help us process and integrate what we've done, because you're going to be processing this, I think, probably for weeks. So we're bringing in energy so that the processing is easy and graceful and enjoyable, so that the benefits are being automatically integrated into your life more and more every day. And if you're doing anything after this session that requires safety, alertness, set your intention and give permission that your unconscious mind and your miraculous self will turn down the processing and make sure you're naturally grounded, safe, and alert, grounded, safe, and alert, grounded, safe, and alert. And then set your intention that tonight and for the next 4 nights, a portion of the time when you're sleeping, not all night, but a portion of the time when you're sleeping, your unconscious mind and your miraculous self will review what we did in this session. Then they'll infuse it with wisdom, skills, concepts, and abilities from your miraculous self. They'll take what we did and they'll make it deeper, richer, wider. They'll make it higher, more multidimensional. And they'll automatically integrate the benefits into your life. So tonight and for the next 4 nights, while you sleep soundly and deeply, the benefits will be being automatically integrated into your life. So you wake up in the morning feeling refreshed, and as the days go on, your ability to work with conflict and collaboration just keep getting better and better and better. And your ability just by your presence to affect how people deal with collaboration will keep getting stronger and stronger. Dissolve any grounding that you have and let the earth send up a column of energy to ground you right now. Let the earth do all the work. Give the earth permission to ground only your authentic energy into your body. only your authentic energy into your body. And through all this, you've been clearing other people's energies, excuse me, and old energies of your own out of your body. And we want to fill the space back up. So give your miraculous self permission to fill you up with more of your true essence and with supportive earth and universal energies. Filling up your cells, your DNA, your organs, your systems. Filling up your chakras, your energy channels, all the layers of your energy field. And your energy fields in you and around you in all directions. In front and behind, left and right, above, below, and then running through you. And there's something we do in Energetic NLP, we call it sending out spiritual emails. And when you change your energy, other people and even your pets sometimes get thrown off. They're not thrown off because things are they don't like your energy, but it's like different. And you know how it is when something's different about a person, it can kind of make people uncomfortable. It's like, it's you, but you're different. And what do I make of that? So the way around that's real easy. You just ask your miraculous self to send out spiritual emails to everybody in your life, include your pets and your plants. And I'm very serious about that. And the spiritual email is just informing them, oh, this is what my energy is like now. You're not looking for approval or permission. You're just informing them. And then that way, they're comfortable with it. And let your miraculous self even include the people that your spirit has set up that you're going to meet but you haven't met yet, so that they're updated too. Okay, easy deep breaths. Let's bring in a lot of sparkling energy. Joyful, sparkling energy. Let's dissolve that gold ball, that group energy space. And it's really, really important that we all retrieve our energy because we've been mixing up our energies. If you don't retrieve it, you end up being depleted and it's not good for the other people. So just ask your miraculous self to pull all of your energy back out of everybody else's space, and we'll all pull our energy out of your space. And any energy that came out of any of us that wasn't really ours, that can just, our miraculous selves can send that energy into the earth. So the energy that wasn't really ours goes into the earth to be recycled. Your authentic energy comes back to you. I should say your authentic energy comes back to you. Our authentic energy comes back to us. And then I want to thank you for being part of this. It was really a lovely group energy, and it's always very special when we're doing work that's helping us, but also helping other people, which it almost always is. And I just love the energy of the people that are attracted to these. I forgot to say this at the beginning, but if you're listening to this as a recording, just pretend it's happening right now while you're listening to it, while you're watching it, and you'll access the energies. And do let people know, at least for the next couple of months, I'm not sure after the end of June, but at least through June, we'll be doing these Facebook Lives every Thursday at noon Pacific time. That's California, San Francisco, Los Angeles. So please do let other people know about them. And if you haven't signed up on the Energetic NLP webpage, please do. You can be on our mailing list, which is www.energeticnlp.com, because we've got lots of things coming up. I have a new team of people working with me, and there's just a lot of really cool things coming up pretty soon. And depending on when you're watching this, in June 26th through 28th, we're going to have a program, Discover Your Miraculous Abilities. This time it'll be completely online, which I'm real excited about. Normally people have to fly in to attend it. And it'll be 3 days of like personal and spiritual transformation. And if you're new to energy work, it'll be opening up your abilities. If you're experienced, it'll be taking your abilities to a whole new level. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. So you'll be, if you're on the mailing list, or you can check the Facebook page, you'll be hearing about it soon. We're getting the webpage and everything finalized as we speak. So thank you. And I hope to see you next week and have an incredible time creating more collaboration in the world. So you can still make comments, but I'm going to turn off the video and I'll read all the comments later. Bye, everybody.